when the husband who murdered her husband was released from prison because he only got 7 years. He became ill. And she went and prayed over him and took care of him. Yeah, that's some gut-wrenching stuff for us. But when asked, because when the news reporter said, I just could not find it within myself to forgive someone who had done this to me. And she said the simplest phrase that defined it all. She said, I'm a Christian. Period. Nothing more. I'm a Christian. You see, when we talk about defining the characteristics of a good woman, you see, it's not summed up in a whole bunch of words. It's summed up in actions that we simply cannot explain. Something that comes from deep within. And it comes deep from within because it is given to her by the Father. Oh, it was definitely something to behold. And as I look at what is taking place in our text, I see Dorcas, who, for the life of me, I cannot understand why they wanted to give, I guess because it was written for a Hebrew audience. They used the name Tabitha. She was a Greek woman. Dorcas was a common Greek name. And of course, I believe that she knew that she had done good. I believe that she knew that she was going to have a positive legacy. I believe that if you were to ask Dorcas if she wanted to come back, she probably would have said no. Because what was going on here? Listen, this woman was, according to the text, she was always doing good. And there is a misrepresentation of the word "and" here, because the original translation suggests that this word is not "and," but "in." She was always doing good in helping the poor, not "and" helping the poor. She was always doing good in helping the poor. Now, what do we know about Dorcas? Well, Dorcas was a widow, and she had no children. She had no offspring to take care of her. She was a very smart woman, because she realized that by being a widow, the community was going to have to take care of her. And so she would make her contributions to the community by helping the community and not being a burden on anyone. You see, she thought of the community, and even though she was poor, there were many who were poorer than her. And she always took the time to do something. Y'all know what it was like. You know, we couldn't, every time we had pants that had holes in them that needed mending or something like that, you know, my mama couldn't sew, so she would call on my aunts and my grandmother to sew the pants or what have you. We would walk around with the patches in the pants and what have you. We weren't worried about what we would look like. We were covered up. Yes, indeed. But Dorcas she would be the one who would patch up the school children's clothes. She would be the ones who would patch the holes in the workmen's pants. She would be the one who kept the community from having to go out and spend more money. Y'all know we do it at the drop of a hat now. Oh, pants jacked up. Let me go get another pair. Oh, still got the receipt. And take them back. Get another pair. This is how we operate. But when it comes down to the purpose of good women, women in general are created with something that men simply do not have. I think that's the part that's missing out of the reel. It's the compassion part.
That's it. Thank you.
I really do. Because they have something in them innate that is not within every man. Because y'all know how we would do now. Them pants get holes in brothers. Are we gonna sit there and try to sew it up? I'm gonna cut off the holy part, and we're gonna have some shorts. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna modify it. They're gonna be somewhere. But nonetheless, Dorcas was always doing good. When you talk about good women who are always doing good, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are the husband of one wife. They're not running around with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, but it means that they're doing things that are instrumental for the upbuilding of the community. If you look at many organizations that are forming within our area, who is usually at the forefront? It's women. And let some more truth be told, most guys do not even know what kind of guy they want to be until they find a good woman. You want to look at the legacy of a good man, you want to see a good man, look at the woman that's behind it. If the children are straight, it's not because the husband was a strict disciplinarian. It's because there was a good mother in the house.
Amen. Amen.
My mother was a disciplinarian and Amen. Yes, Lord. But one other thing, I also realized that women gravitate toward what they do well. This was her gift. Amen. She wasn't trying to do anything but provide her gifting. And when a good woman just operates in her gifting, not trying to operate in somebody else's gifting, it leaves a legacy that is irreplaceable. Nobody can stand in those shoes. Nobody could be Miss Doll Rounds. Nobody could be Miss Bertha Williams. Nobody could be Bernie Sanders. Nobody could be Mary Roseman. Nobody could be Virginia Sue Pittman.
Amen. Exactly. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
These were their own individuals. Nobody is going to be Miss Urethra Lee.
Amen.
But Miss Urethra Lee.
Amen.
Amen. These women made an enormous impact within our community.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
You think about some of the jobs that they took on.
Yes.
The reasons why we are able to go into places that we're able to go into. The reasons why we're able to sit where we want on the bus now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Dorcas was always doing good by helping the poor. But when she died, isn't that something? When we lose these matriarchs in our community, it leaves a lasting impact, doesn't it?
Yes.
Because we're always searching who is going to fill that void. And I know many of us would sit there and say, Lord, I wish they were still here. And then they're sitting on the other side saying, no, I don't want to go back.
Amen. 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 Amen.
But yes, when this news spread, this helped Peter out too. In case y'all didn't catch this. This really helped Peter. One, Peter was a shown-up Jew. And want to go touch a dead body was considered unclean. You would be considered unclean. Christ was working on Peter as well.
Amen.
But because this woman meant so much to the community, he was willing to do everything to bring her back to the people that were missing her. You see, this is a display of God's power as well.
Yes.
But I don't want you to miss the point of the legacy of a good woman. You see, you women were talking about women of purpose. There is a fundamental need for women with a purpose today.
Yes. Yes.
You see, we don't have the conversations that used to take place when young women were not being what young women should turn out to be. I can remember, you would see that in the olden days when a young lady would step into a place and be somewhat considered inappropriately dressed. There would be some matriarch who would slide on over. Say what needs to be said as discreetly as it needed to be said. And something would change. The young woman would come a little more moderately dressed the next time and the next time. And was not put on the spot, was not embarrassed. But I guarantee you had a great appreciation for the woman that steered her in the right direction. Absolutely. We have a fundamental problem because if our women go astray, then definitely our men are going to go astray as well. But we have to understand, women, you have a purpose. You are the mother of creation. Your purpose is to help redirect other women.
Amen.
So that they can direct their family. Oh, I'm delighted to watch women in action. I love to see women in action because when I know that when that young lady gets an earful of someone who is speaking wisdom and love to her, her path is going to be directed in a way that is going to leave a legacy that will not be tarnished.
Amen. Amen.
She will do good because you have spoken good to her. So the legacy of a good woman is not only found in the works of a woman, but in the works of others that she influences and touches. Trust in it. Revel in it. Embrace the legacy of our good women. Amen.
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 Amen.